So the reality of the sportswear sneaker industry is you pretty much got Nike, they got the throne, they're sitting at the top, looking down at Adidas at the number 2 position, which they're a historical legacy brand with a strong worldwide presence. And then at number 3, you got New Balance, but at one point that position was occupied by Reebok. Then you had Under Armour, and at one point even Puma, which I don't know if you guys have noticed as of lately, it kind of feels like the Speed Cat, a model which was really popular, say like 10 plus years ago. It kind of feels like it's almost had like a resurgence. I guess you could say the Speed Cat's almost like a competitor to say like the Adidas Samba, a low profile, affordable sneaker coming in that like kind of under $100 price point range or whatever. But as far as this latest trend, it feels like it's not even enough to kind of take Puma out the trenches, which right now they got reports that stock numbers are down, sales are down all across the board, and they're actually considering selling the entire company as a whole. Which when you take a look at Puma's current catalog, like let's just say for example you visit Foot Locker, you'll see front and center right on the front page of footlocker.com, you got the new Mellows with all the little kids holding up the Mellows. He's a huge brand ambassador for the company. When you take a look at their current selection, of course, you do have the Speed Cats, which this one looks to be some type of a collaboration, different variations of the Speed Cat. You got the Puma LaMelo Ball sneakers. You got your standard Speed Cats, which are on sale currently. So when you talk about the LaMelo Ball, it kind of almost reminds me of almost like, let's say, Steph Curry when he was really hot, the fresh new face of the league over at Under Armour. Their stock was going crazy. Sales were going crazy as well. But as his popularity kind of faded off as he got a little bit older, he's still the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? Much love to that boy Steph. We ain't about to slander his name or anything like that. But I just kind of almost feel like it's a similar effect where at one point LaMelo Ball was the hot new rookie in the league, but are these kids really out here going crazy for his Puma basketball sneakers like they were years ago? It's just a question because I really don't know the answer. So when you talk about Puma's catalog, you know, these are some of the moves that they're making. We're going to take a look back at what they've been doing over the last couple of years, which kind of puts them into the kind of odd position that they're at right now, contemplating on selling the entire company. So, of course, we already talked about LaMelo Ball. They've been doing huge activations. It seems like he's almost kind of like the face of Puma, low-key. On top of the LaMelo Ball, they've also invested heavily into other NBA talents, such as Tyrese Halliburton, which as far as his sneakers, he was front and center at the NBA Finals, rocking his sneakers on the court. They also brought over Salehi Bembry, which I think his title was like creative director of Puma basketball. So they're bringing in some big buzzworthy names here in the sports and sneaker industry. But as far as Puma basketball, it feels like it's really failed to have a huge impact. But then again, of course, you know, Tyrese Halliburton had the unfortunate injury and everything like that. So as far as that, that's kind of a setback. When you take a look at other Puma collaborations, they've also teamed up with big artists out of the UK like Skepta, which I've even heard people say as far as his impact in like the fashion world and like the rap scene out in the UK, they would compare his fashion releases to like, or his sneaker collaborations to something like over here, like Travis Scott over here in the US. So that's a lot of props. He's teamed up with Puma on a couple of different releases here and there. On top of the Skepta collaborations, you guys know Rihanna, she had the little Puma Fenty Creeper or something like that, which was really hot years back. They re-signed her, I think it was in 2023, so that's a big name, Rihanna. Of course, everybody knows her, she's a household name. Signed to Puma as well. On top of her, you got her baby daddy, A$AP Rocky, which I'm sure y'all have heard about him, some of his Puma collaborations, which were making some pretty big noise, I guess you could say, here in the sneaker world. But as far as all of these collaborations and everything like that, it seems like it's not enough, as it looks like Puma could be up for grabs, as it looks like right here, according to this report, which is just breaking, actually. It says that their shares are down 45% over the past year. Sales are declining, and their shareholders are considering a sale. So we just talked about all of their different collaborations, what they've been doing. Collabs seem to be really huge for Nike, New Balance, Adidas, but when you talk about these Puma collaborations, maybe they're not making the right choices as far as their brand ambassadors. They've invested heavily into the game of basketball, which even according to the article, it says short-term results have been weak, especially in the US and Europe. And the biggest reason Puma stock has been down, the business hasn't been terrible, but it hasn't been great either. Puma has been trying too many things at once. The company has invested significantly in basketball with athletes like LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Halliburton, the WNBA's Breanna Stewart, and LSU's Johnson, but that category hasn't delivered. The basketball business isn't great here in the US. So what is Puma going to be doing to turn things around as far as selling the brand? Who would be some of the suitors? Of course, according to this article, it says Li Ling, which of course they're based out of China. You probably know them for like doing some stuff with D Wade in the past. As far as them, huge presence as far as basketball locally, but not too much over here in the States. And then of course you got a brand like Anta, which has been going crazy with their Kyrie branded stuff like that. They've been making a huge noise as far as over here in the States when you talk about Kyrie, but of course they're always well known over in China. And as far as acquiring a brand like a Puma, whether it was Li Ling or Lei Ling or an Anta, remember they've been mentioned here in the States, but they don't really have any results as far as big sales outside of like the Kyrie stuff. So by acquiring a Puma, a brand like that, it would be looking to have like say a stronger presence over here in the US, which would make sense because they're already big over in China. You already got a popular name like a Puma, you know, to continue over here and expand into the US. So I guess a move like that could make sense. But when you talk about Puma and the shares being down, like, what do y'all think they could do to kind of turn things around? I mean, I think the Speed Cat is a good classic legacy model out of their back catalog. But outside of that, I mean, they got the LaMelo Ball joints. Tyrese Halliburton, unfortunately, injured. Who knows when he'll be coming back on the court. I would say maybe it would be smarter to possibly invest more into kind of like their running category. I don't think basketball is a huge seller. When you look at brands like New Balance, Adidas, Nike, they're putting a heavy emphasis kind of on that running category. So I'm not really sure what Puma has in their back catalog, but maybe they should invest a little bit more into the running tech. As far as like legacy models, while you got the Speed Cat. If you take things back even further, y'all remember them old basketball models from Puma, some of their retros, like them Clyde joints. I don't know if them joints would have any selling factor, but it's just something to consider. You know what I'm saying? For the OGs, maybe they would have some nostalgia for them old Clyde joints, or maybe that era's kind of just came and went. But when you talk about Puma, the next update could be the fact that the company has been sold. So let me know what y'all think about the entire situation. And let's just say, for example, hypothetically, you were in the seat of the Puma CEO. What moves would you do to kind of turn things around? Because you never know, Puma could be sold and gone next thing you know. So JATV, drop your feedback. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out. Love.